Hello, welcome to European Open Briefing for Wednesday, January the 30th. I'm Rafi Barjan, currency analyst at XM.com, and we're going to be taking a look at what's happening in the currency markets today. So we've got a somewhat mixed sentiment this morning ahead of the all-important FOMC meeting, as well as those trade talks between the US and China that are due to start later today. It was a mixed session in Asia, and in Europe it's also a mixed start to the day. The FTSE is the exception. It's up sharply at the moment, which is a bit odd given what happened in Parliament overnight when MPs rejected a bid to block a no-deal Brexit scenario. The pound fell sharply yesterday. It has steadied at the moment. It's currently trading at 1.3086. The euro continues to edge upwards against the US dollar. The dollar index is fairly flat at the moment against the yen, though it's slightly weaker. So traders are waiting their cues from the FOMC later today. DOZ is one of the best performers this morning, up by 0.6%. Just below the 0.72 handle at the moment. We did see inflation data coming in slightly above expectations. But gold prices have hit a fresh 8.5-month high as we're seeing those worries about Brexit and trade mounting up, as well as, of course, the main factor for gold's gains is the weaker US dollar. So we can see the dollar has been drifting downwards over the past few days. You've got that Fed decision coming up at 19 hours GMT, followed by Powell's press conference. So the Fed could possibly signal a change to its balance sheet unwinding to basically slow down the pace of its balance sheet unwinding, and that could possibly trigger a dollar sell-off if we were to get clear signals on that, or if the Fed was a bit more downbeat on the growth outlook than is currently being anticipated. But we're not expecting any changes in policy at the current meeting, and there's also a bit of optimism on those trade talks between the US and China. We heard from US Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin saying that the Huawei charges are a separate issue to those to trade negotiations, and he's expecting to see significant progress in those talks. So there's going to be high-level talks starting today between Washington and the Chinese Vice Premier. And looking at the Australian dollar, we can see a big jump following the inflation beat for the fourth quarter. So that's sharply reduced expectations of an RBA rate cut in the near term. The DOC had come under pressure from poor business confidence numbers yesterday. An additional boost for Aussie this morning is a jump in iron ore prices, which Australia is a major exporter of, and we can see DOC is once again eyeing the 0.72 level. And moving on to the pound now, we can see that big tumble yesterday after MPs rejected several amendments that either would have meant extending Article 50 or blocking a no-deal Brexit. Although one amendment, which is a non-binding one and merely advises the government not to leave the EU without a deal. So that one was passed, but wasn't a strong one as the other amendments. So the markets didn't see much of a benefit for that. The main headline, though, is that the second amendment that did win was the one where MPs are demanding changes to the Irish backstop, and this was also supported by Theresa May. She asked her party to get behind this, and now she's got a strong mandate to go to the EU and tells them that the Irish backstop has to be renegotiated, but the EU has so far said no. So that's why we're seeing sterling struggling to gain any upside momentum at the moment. We did see a bit of some small gains earlier today, but at the moment it's back down to around 1.3065. The euro, on the other hand, has been steadily edging upwards against the US dollar. It earlier touched the 2-week high, 1.1452. We did see French GDP numbers beating expectations at 0.3 versus 0.1, and we do have more Eurozone data coming up today. The economic sentiment index, that's at 10 GMT, and then tomorrow we're going to have the Eurozone and Italian fourth quarter GDP numbers, and then on Friday the Eurozone flash CPI. So that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.